Hi everyone, I'm Dennis Foley from Acoustic Fields. We have the great pleasure of being in Studio 2020 in the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois. I grew up in Illinois, so it's good to be back, and we're in Sam's studio. Sam's going to talk to us a little bit about a before and after situation, what his room sounded like before our products and what his room sounded like after our products. Let's talk a little bit about products right now. We've got 8 of our ACDA units, 8 of our carbon units in the room, and then diffusers on the rear wall, and studio that's been around 25 years. You've been here?
25 years, a little bit over 25 years, in the same location.
Ah,
that's an account.
Yes, it sure is. So tell us a little bit about your background and your experience here, in the studio, what you were up against.
Well,
Tell them why you called me.
I called you because I had a problem. That's why I called you. Before, like I said, I've been here 25 years, so before there was no internet, so you could not reach out to somebody like you. All you had, like the big guys, the couple of guys, I would say, like in New York, they design the big studio, you spend $100,000 and whatever, That was not an option. And I knew I had a problem in this room from, taking the mixing in the car, like everybody does, and to the boombox and this and that. So even before I did my own analysis. Like I would have a sine wave, and I would test the 60, the 50, so whatever. And I knew in some spots I had like 10, 12 dBs of difference. So I tried to, the old trick, put an equalizer between the speakers to kind of offset the room modes. That did not really work out very well. And to make a long story short, 6-8 months ago, my business partner, he has a rock and roll band now, with doing his CD, The Social Act. And we want to make sure that everything's coming exact how we want it. And so we went and I did some research, and I found out that some mastering houses, they use the Ginav. It's a hybrid software.
Electronic room correction.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I got it. I worked on it for like a month and a half, and I tried all kinds of situations. It was sounding good here, but it was not accurate outside. Like the curve will show you there's improvement and this and that. And every time I do a different reading, the sound changes. So it was not really working. Because I think this room had a bigger problem than something to be fixed after the fact. I didn't want to fix it like in technical terms post. I thought the right way to do is to fix it fix the cause of the problem instead of trying to deal with the effect of the problem. So I did my research. I went on YouTube University, did all the research. There's a lot of people that they say they do things like you do, and a lot of them, after some research, was not really panning out. And then I started watching your videos and testimonials, what people are saying. And after talking to you and emailing, I think, don't do what I did, 70, 80 emails, and I don't know how many phone calls. But Dennis was very gracious, so he was always helpful. And that's how it started. I knew I had a problem. I wanted to fix the problem, and I wanted to fix the problem the right way. I wanted to go to the source of the problem, because all these room correction software, gadgets, what have you, they're trying to deal with the problem like having a fire. They're trying to put the fire. Instead of trying to put the fire, make sure you don't have a fire. And that's this technology. Make sure that you don't get to that point, that before you have the problem, it fixes the problem so you don't have to deal with the problem. And later I would say what like the whole process. For example, this room was very bass heavy. What I mean by bass heavy means it sounds good in here. When you go out, there's too much bass. Even walking around from side to side, it will change. Like, you know, if the phasing was going on, and if you sit on, we have a couch in the back, you sit in the couch and it's too much bass. That's why a lot of the times I would mix by myself, because people are not hearing what I'm hearing.
Yes.
And then I used to have two mixes, one mix for the room and one mix for outside. It's double work for half the money, you know.
Yes.
So that's how it started to contact you. And I'm telling you, you know, that's the best thing you can do for your business. If you are in this business, this is more important than your speaker, your microphone, your preamp, your mixing bowl, whatever it is. If you are working in an environment, if you are working in a room, your listening environment, your mixing room, control room, not just, I mean, for recording, of course, but for mixing, you are, if your room is not right, you are making critical decisions based on false assumptions. You are taking decisions that are really doesn't matter too much, because the equation you are given is not the right equation. So all the answers you're coming up with are not the right answers. You know, so before you invest in a microphone, a preamp, and this and that, your room, because to me, if you have a right sounding room and like more accurate kind of room, I don't care what speaker I have, what mic pre I have, what microphone, I can make it work. But if I have a false room and I have whatever I have, it's not going to work out. It's going to be back and forth, and it's not going to be what it's supposed to be.
So you, before, and correct me if I'm wrong, before, when you were doing certain music and certain tracks, you would be, I don't want to do this. It's going to be hard. I have to.
No, like before.
Because I'm fighting my room. But now, when you walk in the door, it's fun.
It's fun.
It's pleasurable again.
It's fun. Plus, on top of everything, mixes that used to take 5 hours takes 2 hours for them, because now it's so the stereo is so spread, so you can hear everything. It's much easier to place instruments and to make tweaks, you know. And plus, let's not even talk about mixing. Let's say you're running a session. I see running a session is like being on stage. You have bands, everybody's here, you know, whatever. So if you come in and then it doesn't sound right, people are not into the music. But once after this, I'm running sessions, people, they come in, it sounds right, everybody's happy, everybody's excited, they go in there, they perform better, it's up and up. But one comes in and especially like with vocals, I don't EQ. I used to EQ and do so many. Now the vocals, they do the voice almost ready to go. I don't have to.
Nice.
I don't have to EQ. Just still compression coming in, not, you know, EQ just to make them whatever. But I could go without EQing. So beside it's not fatiguing to mix, you know. Like for example, I used to do a lot of Mexican music called Duranguenses. And Duranguense, you have the big tambora, they call it, tamborazo, and then the bass, it's a keyboard bass, come from the X7. So it's so hard to separate those two. And if you have a room that has problem, that's even much harder. So now, I listen to mixes I did before, you know, back in the headphones, whatever. Now I can hear much more separation. So if I had this technology before, my job would have been so much easier and the stuff would have sounded so much better. And mixes that took 5 hours could have taken me 2 hours, or, you know. Beside the idea that you are working and you're putting everything into it, and then when it doesn't sound right, you get kind of discouraged, kind of you lose interest yourself too. Like I'm doing this and this and this, and then, you know, I listen outside, it's, you know, and then for it to sound good outside, by the time I bring it in here, it's so weak, you know. So I think this is the best thing I have done. I mean, I've been in business for 25 years, and this has made, I wish I had this 10 years ago. I would have been a rich man.
I hope you enjoyed our videos today, and if you did, we really would appreciate a thumbs up from you. If you have any questions or comments, you can go to the comment section, or you can go to our website, acousticfields.com, and fill out the contact form. Subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel. We're now doing 2 videos a week. If you have some ideas for topics, you can submit those to us also. If you're having room issues, we have that free room analysis. You can click on the button below, and we'll compare your room to our database of 120 built rooms that we built and actually measured, and I guarantee you your room is in that database. So just click on the button below for the free room analysis. Thank you.